This is the A to Z podcast. Expert insights on leadership, business, real estate, investing, and growth.
Whenever I have conversation with small business owners as a broker and also team and leadership development experts, I hear three common barriers that stop small business owners not to actually scale, even to think about scaling. And this session, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you three common barriers that stop small businesses from scaling, and I'm going to give you my perspectives. Whether you are a small business owner, founder, or someone who is planning to open one, or whether you are a professional working with small business owners and founders, you're going to find this session very informative. Let's first start with the first barrier, which is small is safe. Is that really true? Is small safe? I don't think so. I don't need to take you anywhere. Let's go back to COVID. What happened? Which companies survived? Which companies went under? The answer is clear. Mom and pop companies, small businesses, they couldn't be able to outlast the crisis, while medium and large companies, they could be able to survive and outlast. Even some of them, they thrived. Why? Because they could be able to handle the pressure. They had cash cushion, they had wider client base, they had also territories. If one supplier is under, they bring another one. If one client base is not working well with them, they find another one. Some of them, they adopted to the challenge and they start to produce some products and services so that they could be able to thrive even after the crisis. Small business owners, they didn't have that luxury. They didn't have enough cash. They had limited client base and territory. The second barrier that stops small businesses from scaling is small, is stressless. Is that really true? I'm a small business owner. You most probably are. When you are a small business founder, what happens? You are open, working 7 days a week, 24 hours. Why? Because everything is here and you are required to make decision. And therefore, even if it is after hour, during the weekend, even if you go for vacation, your team, they're going to call you, which means you are stressed. The boundary between work and life is blurred. But if somebody is a leader of a medium to large companies, what happens? When they go for vacation for a month, you may not even know that they took vacation. You may not know. Why? Because they could delegate. Even if they are away, decisions at the local level, at the front, could be able to be made without their presence because they scaled. The third barrier is small is agile. Is that really true? It looks like, okay, if I'm a small company, I have like maybe 5 to 50 employees. It's a small company. I can be agile. We can be flexible. We can do things faster than the big guys. But in reality, companies that scaled, they automate their services. They have technology. They delegate. And they have systems and processes in place. And they are more agile. Sometimes multinational corporations, their CEOs, they sit in their office and they track and evaluate what's happening remotely. They could see what's happening remotely because they have the technology. They systematized it. When you are a small business owner, you may not have the capacity to automate, systematize. And because of that, you're not agile. You may not be responsive, and that hurts your business. Here are a couple of disclaimers that I have. For example, if you don't want to grow and expand, I understand that. You may just want to have a lifestyle business. That's okay. Maybe you just want to serve your local community. That's okay. That's you. You don't want to grow and expand. But the scaling is different. You don't need to expand, become big. You can't be scalable and still small. The advantage for that is you are effective, you are efficient, and if the time comes for you to scale or exit, you succeed. Why? Because many of the things that you should do to scale and exit, they take a few years, the minimum. And by the time when life or circumstances force you to sell, you may not have time. When I talk to many small business owners and founders, they tell me that I'm going to inherit this business to my kids or to my employees. Good ideas. But in practicality, the employees or your children may say, I don't like this business. I don't want to inherit it. They may not have passion to that business. What do? You have to sell it. Or before you raise your successors, before the time you want to retire, something could happen. You may become sick, disabled. You may even die. Going to be unfortunate, but for your business, you lose your legacy. In most cases, when buyers buy businesses that are not scalable, they may give you one multiple. Let's say that you're generating $200,000 per year. They may pay you $200,000 because they know that's dependent on you. But they may buy it for $200,000 or maybe $300,000, but they may not keep your legacy. They may just want your product and services, maybe just your clients. They may change the employees, the culture, the mission of the organization. You spent years, sometimes decades. Now, when the time came when you have to exit, you don't have any security that your legacy stays. You may hurt your employees. They may be fired, the majority of them. The culture, the legacy, going to be gone. Because of that reason, even if you want to be a lifestyle business, even if you want to be small and inherit your business to your kids and to your employees, the best and wise approach would be to make your business scalable. In that case, whether you choose to scale or whether you are forced to exit, you have a scalable company. You're going to get a lot of multiples. For example, the one I told you, if you are generating, let's say your EBITDA is $200,000 per year, you may get 5 times multiple, which means you may sell it for $1 million, even more, depending on the industry and the business and how you made it scalable. You see the difference? You could sell it with 1 multiple or 5 or more, even 10 and beyond. The difference, if you look at it, the difference is very minimal. If you have the checklist of what buyers are looking for, you could be able to do those checklists and get your business always ready to scale and get a lot of multiples when the time comes. You have to sell. And of course, you want to buy a strategic company to scale. But if you haven't made your company scalable, what happens? Even if you bring strategic companies to merge and the scale, it will be very difficult for you. You may need to completely destroy this and rebuild a new one. Why would you do that? Why don't you always assume that down the road, me or my employees or my successors may want to scale it? Or down the road, before I'm ready, I may exit. For these reasons, my advice always is act like as if you want to scale down the road. Act like you may exit within weeks, month. You don't have a lot of time. Life could happen like this tomorrow, next month, and everything could be totally different. In conclusion, if you are a small business owner or someone who would like to open a small business or a professional working with small businesses, you need to know that making your company scalable is an advantage. It's not a liability. It makes you effective, efficient, successful. And if it comes to the decision to exit, you're gonna get a lot of benefits because you have a scalable business. If you are interested to learn more, I'm gonna leave some links. Yeah, I have a book called Scale to Last. You can read that book. I have also some resources, free resources. If you want to also get some coaching and consulting about scaling your business, you can reach out and we would love to help you. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to see you with another live session. Bye-bye.